Hi, my name is Abha Hanjura. I am an eclectic folk pop singer-songwriter and live performer. I'm very happy to be a part of the India Story Continues initiative because my music is rooted in tradition while married to very cool folk popish sounds. I have a viral hit to my credit, which is Hocus Pocus, which was featured in a motion picture and also in the famous web series The Family Man. I'm very happy to be performing today, and I'm thankful to Red FM for getting me to partner with this beautiful festival. So I'm going to sing a little bit of my music for you and also tell you a little bit about what's coming. And I'm very happy to be a part of a panel like this today, which has esteemed members of the music industry and musicians who I personally really look up to and love their music. So I'm very honored to be performing in front of these musicians and thankful to the India Story for having me over. You can groove along. Hocus pocus televatsukus Onnum battuklutunde Hocus pocus televatsukus Onnum battuklutunde Schwas kitsch kitsch vaamalo Brahmanjaran pon chokkun pettus takka bannikyo Hocus pocus televatsukus Moho battuklutunde Schwas kitsch kitsch vaamalo Brahmanjaran pon chokkun pettus takka bannikyo. Go check out the video on YouTube. It's on my channel. It's called Abha Hanjura. And do check out all the other music videos as well. Pishtu pishtu praryo kotkovan Torkyo voluthu paparepan Pishtu pishtu praryo kotkovan Torkyo voluthu paparepan Sukaman chokutkotaran Totar pichi maritan Zoom chai gindan taritan Hocus pocus televatsukus Moho battuklutunde Schwas kitsch kitsch vaamalo Brahmanjaran pon chokkun pettus takka bannikyo. Very happy to be a part of this panel discussion today, which has renowned names of the Indian music fraternity. And I'm glad that I could be a part of this forum. So I'll just begin by introducing everybody to you guys. First up, we have Tarsem Mittal, the founder of TM Talent Management. Tarsem Mittal is one of the most preferred music talent management organizations in the Indian music industry. Tarsem is also the brain behind India's premium music conference all about music. Next, we have Amit Trivedi. Amit dons many hats. He has earned the reputation of being
a cutting edge and innovative music maker in his career in Bollywood. And then we have Salim Merchant from the Salim Suleiman duo. Salim is amongst India's most respected composers and singers. Together with Suleiman Merchant, have scored more than 100 films. Last, moderating the panel is one of the leading ladies of the radio industry, the one and only Nisha Narayanan, director and COO, Red FM and Magic FM.
Thank you so much, Abha. Thank you for being there. Thank you for a lovely performance as well. We just love your music. Needless to say, I'm sure I'm sort of responding on behalf of everybody, saying that all of us just love your music and the vibe you bring on, especially when you perform on stage. And it's also great because there's a lot of regional flavor that you bring into your music. And thank you for a very flattering introduction to the entire panel. Thank you so much.
I am a fan of everybody on this panel, so it's been an absolute honor. I mean, to really be, in fact, in the same frame as all of you all.
So we are now part of the India Story Continues, and that's the panel discussion. So on behalf of the Neotia Trust, the Neotia Art Trust and Madhu Neotia and Red FM, I would like to just welcome the panel, and the discussion is all about the rise of independent music in the country. So my first question, Tarsem, is to you. What exactly is independent music or indie music and non-film music? What really is the difference between all of these forms of music?
When you say independent music, generally it means music by people without the labels, an artist releasing his own music, or her own music. That's what independent music is. In India's case, it doesn't fit properly because Indian music is majorly film music. So that's why I personally like to use the word non-film music. So the music which is outside of films. And when it is done by artists independently, it is an independent music. When it is done by labels like us, for example, I also have started a music label. And I primarily don't focus on the film music. So that is the clear differentiation for me. So when Amit Trivedi and Salim Merchant does their own record, which is not a part of the big label, group, it's their own thing. They are investing on their own. They will own the rights. And they will continue to do that. So that's independent music and non-film music for me.
So Tarsem, you're in the business of music, right? And you're in and out breathing it as well, and managing talent. Clearly, when you define film music and non-film music, do you think that there is a certain fatigue factor which has come in to the sound in Bollywood? I mean, just in reference, and I'm not saying it only as a broadcaster, but then just a few days ago, we were talking to Ranjit Barot, and he was talking about having tuned into the radio, and he said 4 songs back to back, and he said, the key was the same. Now this is from the horse's mouth himself. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, would you agree that there is a certain fatigue that has set in to the film music space?
Yes and no. I mean, both the ways. I'll honestly, the music business is a business which is created to consumers for me. Somebody creates music, somebody listens to music. All of us are in the pipeline, whether you're a music label, publisher, radio, music channel, and all of it. And there are people who are passionate about the music business. There are people who are doing just business, People who are doing just business, they are not wrong at their decisions. They would want to be a part or create something which sells. For them, it is ROI. They have nothing to do with anything else. It is purely return on investment for them. So they've always tried to find their mathematics, their formulas, their research in understanding what works well. People will come up with an 8-second formula that any music which sells in the first 8 seconds only sells. But there is no rule like that, trust me. I mean, I can tell you blatantly that there is no rule for a good music.
I absolutely agree. There's only one kind of music, and that is good music.
Correct.
But then when we're talking about experimenting, Amit, you needless to say, you have been very experimental with your music. So how easy is it to really do that? I mean, do you have enough creative space to do it? Because you churn out music so often.
So it was easy earlier because I had whatever just Tarsem said is bang on. I had no idea about all that, how the business works,
Right.
how the label functions, how the return on investments, all those things, the business aspect of it, I had no clue about it. I was only reacting as an artist, and only thing in my mind was just to create music that comes very naturally and organically from inside. I now have got to know all this, that it has to be commercial, there has to be a fine balance between art and the commerce, so that so now that is affecting the way I experiment also. That is affecting the way I create music.
So let me rephrase this question. Do you create music for yourself, as in the music that you love, or do you create it for an audience?
I think it's a balance of both, 50-50. It has to be 50-50. Unless and until I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing, so there's no point. I know it is at the end of the day, the business is for the audience, for the consumers. But then I am also a consumer. Whatever I'm creating, I need to be excited about it. So I think it's balance of
Balance?
50 balance. Yeah.
But is that a good thing? Is balance a good thing? Shouldn't you be a little revolutionary?
When I did Devdi, I had no idea about the sound, because I was not listening to Bollywood music at that time, honestly. And I've said this in many interviews also. While I was doing Devdi, every day, just like how Ranjit Bharat sir said that he was traveling and put on the radio. Every day, I used to go home, and it was like a 40-minute drive from studio to home. And for those 40 minutes, I used to listen to radio. And the music that was playing on radio and whatever I was creating in the studio, I had no connection whatsoever. It was so different. I thought, what the hell am I doing? Am I doing it right? I had solid doubts about whatever I was doing. And I thought, okay, this is going to be maybe my first and last, and I might have to do something else. Because I was going all out experimental. And I was like, no hold bars, just go for it. But it worked. So when it worked, that faith kind of increased, and then I got confidence, more and more confidence I got. And then there's no looking back after that. It's been a journey. Yeah.
Yes. Salim, how do you have to add to this? Is it really a challenge to create music for your own self instead of the audience? Do you really have to play the balance game? You've been there for such a long time, creating some wonderful music.
Nisha, I've never ever made music for I don't make it for the audience ever, because I've been very fortunate that the movies that we worked on initially in our career were really lovely films, be it Chak De India, be it Qurban. Chak De pushed us to do something which was very out of the box. Same with Qurban, it was a kind of had an Islamic background, and it had a Sufi sort of this thing. Even when I was doing we were doing Band Baja Barat, for instance, a movie like that. There was this whole pressure of doing like this wedding sangeet kind of music, and whatever. And I had made Heavy Ludhia at that time. I just came up with a hook, but I used to go to Delhi a lot of times, and my friends, medieval pundits and all these, I used to hang out with them. I still do. And nobody really heard that Sangeet type of music. All the youngsters, they heard the music at after parties, which was drum and bass, which was like, kind of a breakbeat and trap and this and that. So I had an idea that why don't I, kind of do a song which has that after party vibe and not the party vibe.
Absolutely.
And so I've always been revolutionary in my head. And obviously when I made Heavy, the director said like, I don't like this song. This is not my movie. So I said, okay, fine. It's your bad luck. Whatever. And like I one day just sort of, got this song out for the producer and Adi. So he really loved the song, and I'm thankful that we've always kind of been fortunate that the movies we did before had an indie vibe, like be it a Qurban, or be it like Band Baja, or be it even Chak De for that matter, had certain like tracks which are, because Shimit Amin is a director who's really doesn't like to follow the rules, he always breaks them. So at that point we were very fortunate that there was an independent spirit. Right now what's happened is we are falling into a trap of like a template. Ye baseline hai, ye rhythm hai, there should be a hook. One day I called Amitabh Bhattacharya and I just asked him, what's happening? Amitabh, kya ho raha hai? He calls me Huzur. He said, Huzur wohi chal raha hai, Mukhda Antara hook. So it's falling into a template. Even while making a song, we are not experimenting with a structure.
There's another question I'd like to ask. While we are supporting independent music, what are the challenges that you actually face by bringing out independent music or music on your terms? What kind of challenges do you really face? Because I assume there wouldn't be a huge army of people who are really standing.
Views is a big challenge.
Views is a big challenge.
You know, like all the streaming sites are saying, "हाँ, but sir, आपका YouTube तो चल ही नहीं रहा है."
No, so I have to ask my favorite question on that. But before that, Amit, do you have to say something on this, and Tarsem as well on this? Saying that, when there is an army of people for film music, with independent music, we don't really have that kind of support. So views is what Salim said. Amit, Tarsem, what are the other challenges that you would like to point out?
Film music is a collaborative effort. It's got a lot of brains working on it. It's not just composer. There's a composer, there's a lyric writer, there's a director, there's a producer, there is a whole, there's a story, there's a script, and then comes the marketing, then comes the label. So there are like way too many people, obviously. So too many brains working.
Sorry,
make.
Amit, I got to interrupt you. Sorry, Amit, you got to interrupt you.
Please.
In films, there's first a label.
These days, I was just going to.
The label is a producer. He's the studio. The label is a producer, is the studio, and
the music supervisor as well.
Everything.
But that's happening. But Salim, I don't know if you have noticed, but that's happening in the past 3-4 years. It wasn't the case earlier.
Wasn't it? Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
When you did Band Baja Barato and I did Devdi and Uran, I never saw label taking over the whole music scene. Now it's all about labels taking over the scene.
So how are you going to break it? How are you going to break the whole momentum?
It's broken. Nisha, it's broken.
No. So we'll come to that. We'll come to that part. Of course, the new music labels which are coming in is bringing in a lot more fragmentation into the music industry, which is great. But I'm talking about individual songs that are released. What challenges do you really face to bring it out and make it a hit? So
this is what I said. If so many brains and so many energies are working towards, obviously it's going to have a larger space. Here is one person doing it. Actually, it's Merchant Records, 2 people here, one ITR, one person here. So it's definitely going to be a huge difference. It's about time. It's not just we've just begun. We've just started. We're a 4-5 month old label. Maybe 4-5 years down the line, you never know. We might be bigger and better.
So
Tarsem, what are the challenges?
I'll just simplify. The biggest challenge is economy of scale. That's the first and most important. Right. The films have a lot of budget. As a non-film or film, we don't have so much of budget. Okay. B is the algorithm and the AI. Today, everything is based on algorithm. Whether it is YouTube, whether it is short-form video app, whether it is audio streaming companies. If you are releasing a content with a really popular artist, the algorithm picks it up. You get more play listings, you get more plays on radio, you get more plays on music channels. Nowadays, music channels don't even play your video. Hardly. Radio stations, I'm sorry to say, but apart from your radio station, there are hardly any radio station which plays non-film music. And they, as Salim said in the beginning, people are following that trend and they are starting playing. More and more the distribution and the reach network has to actually also build up. So these are the 3 problems primarily. Economies of scale, the money. You have more money, obviously you can have more plays. B is your algorithm and AI, which is a very, very crucial thing. Musicians don't understand algorithm and AI. And if they have to start understanding these things, when will they create music? And the third and most important thing is the trade. The trade is taking some time to believe in the system. A lot of trade people are saying that, listen, we have to pay a lot of money for music. It's good at the independent music, and there is no fight between Bollywood film and non-film. Trust me.
Abha, you're here. You've been listening to the big daddies of music anyway, talking. So, tell me, as an artist, as an upcoming artist who's been there for 10 years, but I would still say that, who needs to come into a national platform in a much larger way. What are the struggles that you really face?
Bunch of them actually. Firstly, from the time when I started, it's been about 8 years. So appetite wasn't we had to really create an audience, especially for the kind of music that I was doing. I wanted to suddenly bring in a new language into the mainstream, which was spoken by 0.02% of the country. It was not Punjabi, it was Kashmiri. So they were like, "Hey, ये Russian जैसी लगती है, इसका मतलब है हो क्या रहा है? मतलब what are you singing?" So it took a long time. I was an avid listener and consumer of alternate music as well, which is essentially indie music. So when I would go to festivals, I would see folk, or I would see language representation of everything from Rajasthani to Gujarati to Punjabi to everything, but Kashmiri was not even represented as a language. So I felt more passionate towards it because I'm Kashmiri, but then I also sing because I've grown up in North India. I also speak Punjabi, I speak Dogri, I sing in Hindi, Urdu, but I wanted to put a lot of focus on this language. So firstly, I was doing something which was ultra niche even in Hindi. So then it took some time for me to build audience for it. Also get people excited to come to gigs. So for me, my journey's been from playing for 4 people in a club to 14 to 40 to 400 to 4,000. It's been very slow. It's been organic, but it has been through the people that have played music to at gigs that they have converted into fans online. And I went from live to digital, not digital to live. So that is, a lot of people do that these days, but for me it was the other way. So for me, I also sing Sufi folk music, so I really built a live career. I sort of worked around it in that way, but even today, until a breakthrough song happened for me, which was Hukus Bukus, which kind of became a viral sensation, then went on to be featured in it got licensed to a film, it also got licensed to a web series. So slowly the audience for that song grew, but until that happened, I really worked a lot on my sound, both live and this thing. So it took a long time in terms of getting people to accept, but I was very lucky because I am a Bangalore-based musician, so there's a huge indie scene here. Also, there are amazing musicians. So the whole environment that I have made my music in has been more towards music first, and then you think about everything else. So, the people I found to collaborate, the scene over here, there was places to perform. So it was, in a way, I can't say all doom and gloom. There has been good and bad, it's been...
Sure. I don't think that the journey would have been easy. I think it is a gradual, but definitely there is a struggle that...
And stay motivated and stick on to what you want to do.
I'm sure. Salim, you mentioned views, right? And I wanted to come back to you because you mentioned views about a song. How important are views or impressions, as they call it in the digital age, important for a song? And I love asking this question. Tasim, you know that.
I don't believe in it. I just feel like it's terrible that people. So for instance, like let's say a streaming platform would say, "Arey, but आपका तो video चल ही नहीं रहा है." What is that number? Because it earlier used to be 1 million, now it's 10 million. Now very soon it's going to be 100 million. I'm like, what is going on? If your channel doesn't even have a million subscribers, how is it that you're just gonna... It's like, for me, I love to host a party, but if I'm paying people to come to that party, it's stupid. If I'm making music and I'm putting it on my channel, it's fantastic. It's great that people will listen to it and subscribe to it. But if I'm paying people, I'm just increasing my views and I'm just buying Google ads, it just doesn't make sense. It just totally doesn't make sense. And now it's become standard that if you release a video and if it's at 26K, it's shameful, because it's your song and it's only done 26K or 30K. I don't understand. I would rather actually value those 30,000 people who've listened and watched my video. But now it's become of course, when you release music, and it's great that radio plays your music. I mean, only your station plays it. The streaming sites all want views because they feel the streams will increase, and everybody says that their streams increase and that somehow that's kind of related to it. I don't believe that somehow. I feel if people listen to your music and they like your music, they will stream it anyway.
Amit, do you want to kind of add to that? What Salim
I
said?
agree with Salim. I totally agree with Salim. As you correctly said, there are songs which are not doing well on YouTube at all, but on streaming there are some great numbers. So there is an audio value to it also, which people are enjoying.
That's brilliant. Tasim, I'm saying something that I've been talking about, saying that, you know, if it's a good song, if it's good music, right, then I don't think platforms really matter. And I've said this before to you and to multiple people as well, saying that, you know, and I'm not being pompous or arrogant here, but I am saying that I'm very happy to take an OTT platform who should be given one song exclusively, give it to a broadcaster like radio, give it to us exclusively, and in 15 days, let's see who makes it a hit. And hit is not the number of views that you know, you'll have on that song, but when the artist goes out on stage to really perform, how many people can actually sing along, or how many people can actually perform, you know, sing along with the artist, is the measurement of success. And that's what I believe. I'm not so sure what you think of it, but I have to really say this.
No, Nisha, you're absolutely right. It's been my experience when we did Ashaye. There was no promo, there was no visual promo. The radio made it a hit. Same with Khudaya Ve. I mean, I'm just talking about my music because I've noticed that stuff. But there was audio always. I mean, I am an old school guy.
No, I'm not forcing anyone of you to support radio. I'm not forcing it because we're all in the panel. But I strongly believe in it. I say,
support, please give me. Let's do.
Although I agree with you, there is a difference of opinion. Unfortunately, there are very few avenues for us to make money. For any music label or for any musician, it is very difficult to make money through your content.
True.
Okay. Audio streaming, whether you like it or not, are the biggest source of revenue right now to any musical content. Okay. Why people are so focused on audio streaming, playlisting, and after everybody's life is because streaming revenue is almost 5 times of YouTube.
I'll tell you, you know, every medium has its own way to make it a hit. I'm just saying, for instance, the Red FM jingle. So we've got Tanishq Bagchi, who made the Red FM jingle, Huk Ho Gaya Hun Tere Sound Pe. Doesn't have a video, but the play out of it is every hour, right? So even if it doesn't have a video, all India, you know, across the country, every hour the jingle is played again and again and again. So it's a hit. It's a huge hit. The kind of response that we've got is excellent. So every medium, and I don't say that for this applies to every other medium, but for radio, this is one way of making a song a hit. Every medium will come with its own formula. May not be 100% right. There are no known formulas, but there are a few good steps and processes that we can adopt to make songs a bigger hit.
Actually, I was trying to make a point that we do not need radio or streaming. The question is, we cannot decide, we cannot make a choice between both. We need both of them. We need, currently, none of the music labels or artists look at radio as a revenue mechanism, trust me. None of us. We look at radio as a reach mechanism. We want to reach out to more people. We don't want to make money from radio. None of us are even thinking of making money from radio. But eventually, when the radio plays out and when people listen it on the audio streaming, then we'll make some money.
Sure.
You know, that's the
so
whole
I think it coexists, right? So probably that's a bet. It has to coexist. Yeah,
it has to coexist. We can't choose one of them. It's not possible for us.
No, so to be fair, we are also equally strong now on the digital platform. So though we are a radio station and a network of radio station, we are equally strong on the digital platform as well as on social media, etc. So you have to coexist right now. We cannot ignore digital. But having said that, one question which I had to ask is, for instance, Salim and Tarsem, I'm just saying that, you know, some of the new songs and new music that's being launched, you know, people are using influencers on social media to make it a hit, right? Maybe a certain dance step, a certain dhun, whatever. So are we falling prey to digital? I mean, are we not? I mean, what about the merit of the song? The song in itself may be a beautiful song. Do we really need to kind of depend a lot on influencers, maybe a TikTok, for instance, or different apps and stuff like that, clips of that song to really make it a hit? Is that
Nisha,
the thing to do?
I have a very different outlook towards this. For me, influencers are also artists. They are actors. They are, you know, I mean, just like you do a song and you have a Salman Khan. I mean, for me, he's, you know, also an influencer. I mean, why, just because he's a film star, like he's given respect and the influencer is not? Like, let's not have that difference, you know. A lot of people, like, you know, tell me that, oh, you know what, so for instance, Faizal Sheikh. he was a big, I mean, there's no TikTok anymore, but he's a big influencer. But our first song, from Merchant Records, a lot of people give us flack because we had Faizu as a main lead, and a lot of people wrote to me that why are you endorsing this guy? I'm like, why not? He acts well. He's an artist, yeah. What is this difference between influencer and I think if Salman Khan, I mean, he's the biggest TikToker. If you go to see, just because he's a film star, that doesn't mean we should have that differentiation. I feel like artists, they are also artists. They have their own. If you're a dancer or you're an actor, you're a whatever, and you're not a film star, you're an influencer. So I don't like these categories somehow. I'm I like the fact that every artist has their own space.
Fair enough. I think that it is also decentralized influencers across the country in a different way.
I am actually completely in favor of those people because we keep on talking about nepotism, this and that. These platforms are the perfect platforms which has given power in the hands of every single talented person in this country.
Absolutely.
You can be from a very small village and you can be a star. You don't need any godfather. You don't need any connections. You can if you are talented, you might be a comedian, you might be a juggler, you might be anybody. So India's Got Talent or World's Got Talent, they are coming on a larger platform. These are at the ease of your house.
Totally agreed. And in the same spirit, I would also want to ask that there's something that we strongly feel as a radio station is that there is a huge rise of regional music, indie regional music in the country as well. So it's not just Hindi. I think and I'm sure Abha would also agree. I'm saying from different parts of the country, there's a lot of regional music which is coming in, and the Hindi speaking audience is also warming up to that music because it's different sound and it has a certain freshness attached to it. What is your sense on it? Amit, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I started my 80 Azad journey. My first song was a Gujarati song, Moti Virana, which is actually the most successful song in the entire series that I've done.
It is doing nice.
Yeah, in terms of views also, organically it's reached 6 million without me doing anything. Without me putting any money.
Just to put organically. On, we haven't spent a single penny on that.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, it's amazing that it's regional. It's a proper regional Gujarati song, and that's encouraged me to do more now.
So I feel that there is this culture of language. India is so diverse as a country, and there are a lot of artists who have really worked a lot on this. Even in the space of basically taking music again from the ground to the ears of the people, and then they're going and checking it out on digital. I'm just going to take a few examples. There's Papan, who's done such amazing work, Zubeen, and then there is Raghu here in Bangalore, who's taken the language Kannada to really literally the world. And then there are amazing bands like Agam and Thaikudam Bridge. I'm doing music in Kashmiri in my own way and also other languages. So what I've realized is, and this is my personal experience, I've played this music across, say, for example, we were playing at the Jaipur Lit Fest before this whole lockdown and everything happened. There was an audience of people over there who knew because it's such a this is a song that has done around 4 million views now organically. So some people know the song. So they came to the gig, and this was a person who's from, say, Ranchi or Jharkhand, and they're trying to sing a Kashmiri line, and they're literally trying to group to it, and sometimes they really, really mess up because it's so difficult to sing. But they try, and for me as an artist, that's such a huge thing, gratification. There are linguistic diversity, which is something that's beautiful about our country. Nobody understands the language. Is such a huge hit song. Why can't an Indian language suddenly become a global export, and suddenly there's a huge hit song in a language that people don't understand because it sounds cool. So I feel that I'm very excited about the rise of regional in indie as an artist who's been working in this for a while, and I'm very, very excited because the audiences are also now open to it, they like
very well. Yes, very well articulated, Abha, on that. But I must also compliment Tarsim on the fact that the other day we were having a conversation and he told me about this new song, which was a ghazal that he launched. So typically one wouldn't expect in this time to bring out or release a ghazal. So Tarsim, I think that's really nice, though I don't know whether you're making money and if it's profitable. But I think it's really brave of you to bring out a variety of.
I'll tell you, it's managers have a really good mind. It's about a choice, you know. Honestly, I'm very passionate about music, and I mean, I have been spending about 15-20 years now, and I always wanted to do that. Once when COVID came, we didn't have anything to do, so all the plans which were for the future, we kind of preponed all the plans, and we said that this is the right time. If I don't do it now, I won't be able to do it ever. And it is not about hit or flop. Trust me. It's about like how Salim is passionate about what he's doing. Amit is passionate about what he's doing. I'm really passionate. I believe in those artists, those youngsters.
You can just quickly tell us about the Bhumi project. Like Salim, you've always been very progressive in terms of how you think, and your vision is, way ahead. So you've because we are at India Story Continues, there's a lot of design, art, and fashion, which is part of the whole festival. Maybe you should take us through a little bit about the Bhumi project, which I think is absolutely wonderful and people should know about it.
Thank you so much. I mean, well, the thing is, I always wanted to start a family of everybody under the same umbrella, contributing music towards the art of it, because I feel somewhere down the line there is always that pressure of being commercial. There was a great movement which Coke Studio started a few years ago, and it still continues in other countries, but in our country it's unfortunately not moving ahead. Amit was able to create some great music through Coke Studio. So was Clinton Cirejo, so was Hitesh, so was A.R. Rahman, Ram Sampath. So many other composers came and contributed some incredible piece of music. And I felt like, this was such a great outlet for listeners and for creators to make good music. Somehow that ended because Coca-Cola believes that it was only Coke Studio didn't go with selling colas for some strange reason, and I've had a conversation with Coca-Cola and asked them to push this, but they don't want to. And I felt like, why should I wait for somebody else to do this? I should be the change, and I should bring in that change and invite my friends to join this family. So I thought I'll be the scapegoat. I'll do the pilot project. I'll create this movement, which is now a bunch of 7 songs. Similarly, I wanted to just start off this project, Bhumi, as a movement, which is releasing in November after Diwali. And I'm hoping that it gets a lot of love and a lot of, kind of the feeling that I've started this with. I'm hoping I get participation from different writers and composers to join this movement and then to contribute, be part of it, and have absolute freedom in doing whatever they want.
Amit, may I please request you to do some hum and strum for people who are watching? Is that all right?
Sorry?
Maybe the regional song that he spoke about?
Yeah, I can do that, but I don't have any instrument around me.
Just a hum and strum. I'm saying that maybe just a little hum and strum. Is that all right?
माड़ी रुम जुम करती आवी, माड़ी रुम जुम करती आवी, आनंद उत्सव ने गरबानी रम जट साथे लावी, मोती वेराणा चौक मा आव्या अंबे मां, चौक मा जगमग तारे आव्या अंबे मां, मोती वेराणा चौक मा आव्या अंबे मां, चौक मा जगमग तारे आव्या अंबे मां. Thanks, man, Salim. Thanks. Thanks.
Such a beautiful rhythm to it, even if we don't really understand the language, I think we can just hum along and you can understand the rhythm as quickly as you sort of hear it. And one last question, Amit, to you. We heard you're a great gymnast and you can do yoga asanas, which nobody else can. Is that true? Besides the fact that you're a big sushi lover.
I don't know. When I was growing up as a kid, I was very, very fascinated with gymnastics. I used to not miss any Olympics during those times, which used to come every 4 years, but I used to not miss, especially the gymnastics section. And I have taken training. And actually, like a kid, a very stupid, not a stupid thing, but I was just like 8th, 9th class I was in. I was actually dreaming of representing our country in Olympics through gymnastics. And then, yoga I've been doing for the past 8-9 years. So, yes, that's something I loved
part
it.
of the whole fitness regime. Excellent.
Yeah.
And as far as fitness is concerned, Salim, I believe your friends have been telling us that, you know, one of the first things you do as soon as you wake up is to start doing push-ups. Is that true?
Yeah, I actually do. I'm
Oh,
very.
wow.
I
It's
work
on the
out
phone
every
now.
day.
Work out every
Yeah.
day. Yeah? And you're a big Xbox fan.
Oh my God, you know all these things. That's I play top spin. Yeah, okay, I'm a huge. I've been playing
Research team
Xbox.
at Red FM.
Haji, say it again.
Good research team at Red FM.
Wow.
Research team at Red.
Amazing. Amazing.
That's amazing. Great. So, as we wind up the show, it'll be great to, Salim, just hear you hum and strum. It'll be lovely to kind of hear you on the panel. I think
Okay.
it's a little incomplete if you don't sing.
Well, I so
This is one of my favorites.
के अता करो ओ मददगार मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ मौला अली मौला अली मौला आप ही हो कुव्वते परवरदिगार मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ मौला अली मौला अली मौला हो शाहे मर्दा शेर अज़दा जाफिदा मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ मौला अली मौला अली मौला हिम्मते अता करो ओ मददगार मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ मौला अली मौला अली मौला आप ही हो कुव्वते परवरदिगार मौला अली मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ शाहे मर्दा शेर अज़दा जाफिदा मौला अली मौला अली मौला ओ मौला अली मौला अली मौला Ali, Ali.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful, Salim. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Well,
Beautiful.
thank you so much. I think this is a great time to kind of end the panel discussion. Thank you for taking out time. Thank you for being very candid about your opinions as well, Amit, Salim, Abha, Tarsim. It was really, really wonderful to have this conversation, and tune in for more workshops, performances, and conversations next Saturday as the India Story continues.
Thank you. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you so much.
Salim,
Thank you so
Ava,
much for
thank you.
having
Thank you so
me.
much. Thank
Such a pleasure.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you, Red FM. Thank you, each and everybody who was a part of this. Amit, Abha, Salim. It was a lovely discussion. I am sure that all of us got a new insight, and we were able to meet friends. And since we were talking about independent music and supporting young musicians and talented musicians, I want to tell you a story about a young musician named Goldie Sohail. Goldie I happened to know him since he was a child. He used to roam around in his boxers and his cycle in Guwahati, and I was a struggling event manager at that time. And I first met him in 2013 when he came to me and said that, listen, I sing and I compose, and I didn't take it seriously, I'll be very honest. After a couple of years, 2015, he became the first singer and songwriter we ever signed, and since then he patiently waited in Bombay for 4 years. He made hundreds of songs. Rejected, we took him to more than 100 business executives, music labels, some liked, some did not like. We took him to artists. Finally, 2019, he released his first song from Artist Originals, and then post that he has about 5 or 6 songs which has been released right now. And currently, I have no hesitation in saying that is one of the most preferred music composer, singer, songwriter right now. And in the next 12 months, you will see a lot of his releases coming from multiple labels, including Saregama, Artist Originals, our own music label TM Music, Desi Music Factory, and I can't say more about him. I think this is enough, and I really feel proud and honored when I see his growth and when I see him being patient, being not desperate, working for so long patiently, and finally he's tasting, releases and success. So without wasting any time, I'm really happy to introduce Goldie Sohail, who's going to perform some original tracks for us, purely composed and sung by him. A few released and few unreleased as well. Composite performance. Over to you, Goldie Sohail.
Hi everyone, I'm Goldie Sohail and I'm glad to be on India Story Continues. Here are a few of my songs. I hope you like them. कटती है रातें मेरी बस करवटें बदल के, गुजरे हैं साल कितने बिन तुमको देखे, चेहरे पे हंसी लिए घूमते हैं, दिल में है गहरा दर्द, तू सही है या मैं सही, या दोनों ही है गलत, नहीं जीना नहीं जीना नहीं जीना तेरे बिन, नहीं जीना नहीं जीना नहीं जीना तेरे ना तुम समझे ना मैं समझी, कैसे बदला है सब, बीते ना ये दिन रातें ना गुजरे, बोलो है ऐसा क्यों, मुझको तो खुद से ज्यादा ही था तुझ पे एतबार, कैसे करूँगा अब मैं यकीन किसी पे भी, बोलो ना जाने दो ना, बात नहीं करनी छोड़ दो ना, जो भी है जाने दो ना, बात नहीं करनी छोड़ दो ना, जो भी है बिखरा बिखरा है ऐसे जो, यूं ही रहने दो ना, जाने दो ना, बात नहीं करनी छोड़ दो ना, जो भी है आंखों ही आंखों में कह दो ना, तुझे मुझसे मोहब्बत हुई है, बातों ही बातों में कह दो ना, तुझे मेरी जरूरत होने लगी है, तेरा इशारा काफी है, तेरा नजारा काफी है, सारे गमों को भुला कर जी लूं मैं जिंदगी, आंखों ही आंखों में कह दो ना, तुझे मुझसे मोहब्बत हुई है।
सजना मर जाए सुन के तोहरी प्यारी बत्तियां सजना मर जाए सुन के तोहरी प्यारी बत्तियां भोली सितारी अखियां देख के कटेंगी हमरी का बुझाए का बताए हमको अपना चैन आए ओ सजना